Okay, we are back. Donovan Sadiq. This is To the Hardway with special guest Deanna Moses. I got a quick question for you, Deanna. I'm a big fan of Tidra Moses, and I know some Moses down in the South. As a matter of fact, these Moses are so prolific in their community. They have roads down there. They have their own little communities. A big old family Moses. Would you happen to probably be related to some of those down there?
You know what? Funny story. I'm not actually a Moses.
Okay.
My dad's mom was married to a Moses.
Okay.
And then when she had my dad, she had him with a cherry.
Okay.
So I'm technically a cherry.
Okay, a cherry. Okay, gotcha.
Deanna Cherry.
That's
what I told her. Luckily that you weren't a cherry.
Right.
God forbid you became a stripper.
Deanna Cherry. So, real quick, we are now moving into To the Hardway. To the Hardway. The reason why we did that is because we've been having a lot of controversy in regards to black women, black men, and our relationships with each other and our self-esteem and, how we do this and how I'm hard on black and whatever. So, Dee has her opinion and she stands up for women's issues, but she also stands up for what is right. And I'm going to stand up for, Ike.
The Book of Ike.
The Book of Ike.
He is a student.
Very, very much so. I've been studying it for almost 18 Shirazad Ali? 30 years?
What does they give a black woman a good punch in the mouth?
A good punch in the mouth. That's all she needs.
Did not say.
Right, but I digress. I think they do need a good punch in the mouth. So we are now To the Hardway because, we've been keeping the show going on and our show does bleed off to some of the other shows. So why not call it To the Hardway? Because we're going to give it to you straight without the chaser. Simple as that. But I want to give you guys a quick update. Shira Wright, who was implicated in her husband's murder, and her husband was Lorenzen Wright, former LA Clipper. He was picked 7th in the draft, and he played for Memphis, Atlanta, Memphis, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he was killed 10 years ago, and she has been charged with murder one. She has been extradited back to Memphis, and updates are going to be there as well. And if you want to stay up to date, tune into
Pastor Thaddeus Matthews.
And he will tell you the Killer Coochie has arrived in Mississippi, or Memphis, Mississippi. So, again, and then in the last segment, we also talked about Ken and Kanye just had their baby girl. So it's their 3rd child. I don't know what ever since this man's mother has passed, which to me is a mental disorder because there was nothing wrong with mom being the way she was, and she died stupidly under cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, on the table.
On the table. Well, off the table, which she was, infection, whatever it is. But here's a woman that was educated that felt...
Yeah, doctor.
Right. And you talked about self-esteem. Mm-hmm. Why would she need, at her age, not saying she wasn't an attractive woman, but why would you have to...
living that life?
Well, sons, Kanye, came into some money.
Yeah. But,
she's in Hollywood now and around these people who are
pressure.
Her age, but they're all...
Yeah.
And, so like I said, it's some peer pressure. I ain't trying to be the most wrinklest thing running around on 2 feet when I don't gotta be.
Right, but why?
Given the opportunity, could you say that if you had the money, if there was something you could get done?
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
right now if I had the money, I'd be getting the lift instantly. Like,
why would you need a lift? Ain't nothing wrong with them things.
They could look better though. Like,
okay,
or reduce. Like, definitely.
Yes, I would. There were some things I would. Listen, I ain't no spring chicken, but if money was no object, there's a couple things I would get fixed. However, if a doctor tells me, listen, you might die, ain't no tight tummy,
Well, not even might die. Why would you check yourself out? And this is her situation. She checked herself out of the hospital shortly after the procedure. To me, she should have stayed in the hospital where she would have been monitored.
Well, that's partially true. But the reason why she ended up in that situation is because she had gone to a few doctors who told her, "This is not a good idea,
right.
Donda.
Yeah, at her age,
die, Donda." But that one doctor, that can't think of
brother,
the black,
brother.
He had his own show on Discovery TV, whatever.
Haven't seen him since, have you?
Yeah, he went to jail for that. He lost everything he had for that.
License and everything. Yep.
So these people, you go to all these doctors, and then that one tells you,
"Sure,
I don't see a problem."
But that's in every community, every situation. There's always going to be that one.
Absolutely.
We can sit here and talk about blackness and all the truth. There's always going to be that one that says, "I'll do it."
Yeah.
Hollywood Shuffle. Remember the movie Hollywood Shuffle? They wanted him to play the pimp, and he was like, I can't do my grandmother.
Somebody gonna say
Somebody's
yes.
gonna step up
but,
and do that.
So yeah, would I get something done? Yeah, I got a list of things. Hell, I'll be like I was when I was 15. I'm just saying. But if somebody was saying it might be detrimental to your health, then I'm like, okay, right. I'll have some flabby titties. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I think you got to take the consideration that, like, okay, you're saying, yeah, like, if someone's telling you wouldn't do it. But I think if you look at Kanye and then, like, not really knowing her personality, it kind of makes sense. Like, that inferior, like, like, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm fine. Indestructible. Like, that's probably where he gets it from. Like, she's like, I'm good. I'm going to be, Jesus is on my side. I'm good. Like,
fooled him.
Hard-headed is what it is. I mean, you got a professional. I got
it from somewhere.
I get it, but I think at some point in time, somebody should be able to tell you something unless you don't die.
Well, okay. In regards to my fearless leader, Tommy Sotomayor, here is a young black man that was raised predominantly by his mother, and I was raised by my mother, my widowed mother. But yet, I am not going to go out there and get a hoe and wife her up. I'm not going to do that.
Why not?
well, because she's a hoe. I mean, that is the last thing I'm going to do is where I'm going to go and say, Mom, here's my love of my life. And yeah, see this 19-inch dick that she was riding on in the video?
But do you think that there's a redemption for a hoe? Go ahead.
To Kanye's defense, because I'm a diehard Kanye fan.
Okay.
How do I put this? He wanted Kim, or he was
before that, yeah.
Before she was a hoe. So, I mean, like, true love sees no hoe.
No, and don't get me wrong. And to your point, redemption, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I'm raised by this strong black woman and telling me all that.
Remember that meme I said yesterday?
Yes. I would never go that route because I'm being told that we're queens and, why would I even go get a hoe? I mean, why would I even do that?
Well, I mean, to her point, it was somebody he's always wanted to be with.
After he saw the videotape.
Yeah, and then throughout all the other
before her first marriage, before she blew up, so she had clothing lines.
Yeah, see, to me, no, I wouldn't do that. And where everybody's seeing you do these things, I couldn't put you on a pedestal like that at that point. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, a lot of men couldn't. I mean, it's just, can a hoe be redeemed? Maybe we should have named the segment that. Can a hoe be redeemed?
Killer coochie.
I think, some people will take issue with you even calling a woman who likes to sleep around a hoe.
Okay, Miss Popular. But go ahead.
There you go.
Miss Popular.
Miss Popular coochie. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think there can be some
community
redemption.
Coochie.
Community
coochie. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm not a big Kim fan. So,
but
I'm really thinking about, can we really call her like a hoe? I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, she had a sex tape, which that was like kind of like popular back in the day, whatever. Like, her mom got smart and they made money off of it.
Yeah, we understand that.
But then it's like, she's kind of just doing what everyone else is doing. She was mad. Yeah, she jumped man to man, but she was just looking for the man.
But there's my point. You said, can we call her hoe? Yes, we can, because she went from dude to dude, and everybody hit it.
But
there's quite a few dudes that hit it.
Okay, it's I will say, it's quite a few. But I'm saying, even if it was just like a regular person that we knew, it's just that
would still be a definition.
That person's just unlucky in love, like,
or that person would really be texty, because that's the thing too. I think it's your boo thing on the phone.
Oh, right.
When you have a certain social status in the world, when you do those things, you're just popular. Oh, it's Kim. She's just, a woman and this, that, and the other. She's a celebrity. But when Shaquaqua off the street does it, then all Shaquaqua hoe. She done been with 5 dudes this year. She don't know who her baby daddy is, and she got 2 or 3 different baby daddies.
I think that kind of, like, if that's even the right word, that kind of goes with, like, society now putting too much, like, not even shame, just like putting celebrities at a higher standard. Like even when we're supposed to know, people want to know what they're doing, who they're dating. Like, we shouldn't know that type of stuff because it has shit to do with us.
Well, yeah, but
yet, like, we feel like that's our right to know all these things, or it's our right to call her a hoe because she's famous.
Right. Well, unfortunately, though, being a celebrity or not, you are influential on people, especially young people, and that's the problem. So if you like it or not, this bullshit charge, like, I'm not a role model. I understand that, but it's like in our community. Why is it that the drug dealer it's okay for him to sell drugs to your children, but you try to sell it to his children, it's a problem.
He's going to take your kneecaps.
And then why is he selling it in our community? Why doesn't he go to the white community and put death out there? But he'd rather do it to our community.
Well, and then the other thing, too, my little brother has this saying, with the fame comes the blame.
Dr. Smith. Yes.
Dr. Smith. Mm-hmm. And so you have these people like your Kim Kardashian. I don't even know why we keep talking about her, but these celebrities who will say, oh, gosh, I'm just a regular person, and, I'm just trying to live my life, because that's how she talks, But then yet, you claim to be this person, but yet you're walking around like the picture I saw when she announced that she was a proud mama of 3. I could see her nipples.
A good example right now, Deanna. Your mother is sitting right next to you.
Yes.
If your mom had a sex tape out there right now, how would you feel about that?
That ain't my business.
But how would you feel about that? Because here your peers are saying, ooh, I saw your mama doing this, and I saw your mama taking it like that.
Hey, you know what? If anybody who knows me knows I'm in for self. I'm all
she
about
has that first law of
self-preservation.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
She got all that.
If there was a zombie to walk in this room, guarantee I'm going to be the first one out the door, and I ain't going to look back at you two.
Right.
So, what she do ain't got nothing to do with me.
She didn't get that from me.
Right, but growing up, though, if your kids are... making fun of you and your mom is doing.
I would hope that we got paid off this sex tape so that
no. We're talking
it was
because
on XX
yeah,
video.
no. We're everyday people.
Pornhub.
Yeah, no, we're everyday people. So there's a VHS tape,
right,
with your mom on there,
and it got unwound, and I had to wind it back up with a pencil.
All kinds of stuff. She's doing all kinds of stuff in this videotape, and it's not just one tape. She's done several local tapes.
Okay,
and people know that your mom is doing all this stuff.
Okay.
Which is a reflection of you because you came out of that coochie.
I came out of it first.
Oh, Lord.
I guess what he's asking is, would that
affect you?
No. I'm telling you, it wouldn't, because it has nothing to... That's her.
For hell, I'm in the wrong profession.
That's her.
She's not doing it all because
you know what? Struggling those 13 years in those jobs when you could have been making money off the top.
If she want to bust it open,
I think it's too late. I think it's too late.
It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Way too late. So,
you
okay.
Wait till
she did it. Yeah, she did it, and...
Okay. So, again, we're dealing with a different generation. We're dealing with a different person.
Did she look good when she was doing it?
Absolutely.
Today.
See, now, back in our day, that would be hard for me to live down that, my kids, my friends are calling my mom a hoe, and I got, I'm going to the internet, and they're like, oh, my God, your mom is...
But see, the thing, though, is I think now, because back in our day, we couldn't fathom our mom doing that. But I think nowadays
they're desensitized.
Hoe is desensitized. Oh, hell, you got people talking about, I'm proud to be a hoe. Oh, you bitch. How?
Wow.
So...
That's pretty scary.
I'm a hoe shit. I'm on my hoe shit, y'all.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. But that goes to show you how low we've sunk down. But that's Kim and Kanye just had another baby. I can't say the baby's a bastard because they are married. So anyway,
but you want to.
Yeah, I want to. But I met Kanye when he was in Las Vegas. Total asshole.
Yeah, my brother I knew him for a while too. Said the same thing.
So
it's interesting.
He's a very interesting character. But more power to you, brother. You want to wipe these hoes up, you keep on going and doing that. But don't expect me to follow you in leadership, because if you make a decision to wife a hoe up, you definitely can't lead people.
So what you're saying is you don't, in a nutshell, you don't want to be with a woman that has a hoo-ha, the equivalent of throwing a hot dog down a hall.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. And everybody's been with it because there's nothing special about you.
You imagine going to Winco, let's go to get some Winco chicken, and standing in line, the Winco chicken is like 2 or 3 dudes in the city she's been in with. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Bob.
Right.
How do you know them? Oh, well.
We used to date back in the day.
Dude.
Or we kicked it, whatever that means.
Right, we know what kicking it means.
Or
we know what kicking it means, huh? Is that what how do y'all call it nowadays? We hooked up?
I don't know.
Yeah, or I have a friend, I have a bunch of friends that are in the porn industry, right? They performed in the porn industry. Mm-hmm. And I was with my friend in Las Vegas at this time, and we're sitting there and somebody recognized her. And oh man, there's nothing worse than sitting there and they're like, oh man, that when all those dicks were in you? How do you sit there?
Well, and to that point too, maybe the guy was so forthcoming because it's like, hey, well, you're on the porn.
Yeah, no,
everybody's seen you.
But that's my point. It's like I have nothing against the guy because he's going by what he saw. But that's what she's known for, and I'm standing with her. I was just like, oh my God.
Some women out there. This is probably where I'm gonna get in trouble. Will say, oh, he Me Too'd her.
Yeah, I'll meet to you in a second there, but again. So also the Kanika Jenkins thing, I'll be giving you guys updates on that. People have messaged me and said, "Well, you dropped the Kanika Jenkins, you don't know what's going on." Again, there's a lot of problems with the Kanika Jenkins things. The second autopsy hasn't come out yet.
So they did do a second autopsy.
She says she did. But we can't find any records. I've still been researching it. We can't find any records of something. I think it's. I'm not saying it's a hoax. Somebody did die in that hotel, but I do believe it has something to do with organ harvesting and again all this stuff. The mother does not act right.
Do you believe that it was Kanika that died in the hotel?
I'm not sure. I don't know who that was, but I do. But I do know this: those girls were hoeing in that hotel.
They was hoeing in the hotel.
Yeah, I do believe that. So I mean, hotel party with guys you don't know, and you're partying with people you don't know. Let me ask
her, since that's your generation. I didn't say you was hoeing in her guys.
If you are, where's Mama's cut now?
Are hotel parties odd? Because me and him had this kind of debate a couple months back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I think I've only been to like one maybe, and it was like my friend, so it was only like 7 of us there. It was more like a sleepover thing, but...
See what I mean?
They are...
See what I mean? Sleepover.
But, I mean, there wasn't really... I mean, the guys there we knew. They were like family, so we knew
I understand
them.
that.
But, I think they are kind of common just because thinking about it, like her... How old was she? Like 19, 20?
She was 19.
At home.
Yeah, she was
her
19.
friends live at home. It's probably easier for them. Okay, we want to have a party. Let's just all put our money together.
No, they didn't do that. She told her mother she went somewhere else.
No, but I'm saying, let's all get our money together, have a hotel to where we have a place that's adult free to have our party.
To smoke
weed, they probably were going to do stuff like that that they couldn't do at home. So I mean, it makes sense.
So it's not rare.
It's not rare. I've heard of a lot of people throwing.
I mean, we used to do it
they throw them by UCR. Like, what's the Palms? Is that the apartment?
This is the Skylark.
No, there's like an apartment by UCR called the Palms. Or
the
something.
Palms.
And they have a hotel right next to it.
Right.
And they throw their parties at the hotel because they can't have like
alcohol. Why you laughing? You know about the Skylark?
No, I don't know about the Skylark. I heard about it. I am an RCC graduate, so I heard about it. On my way to my studies. With
anatomy?
So yeah, I did take human sexuality. Your girl Omarosa, she made a statement recently that she is so hurt by her people.
She's still alive?
She's still alive.
Okay.
And she is hurt because all she wanted to do was help her people.
Who are her
Is
people?
she that serious?
She's serious. She was in an interview and she was crying because all she tried to do was help her people. I don't know who her people...
What's she helping us do?
Yeah. What do you mean us?
I'm assuming she's talking about us.
I'm trying to figure out who her people are because...
Well, what was she trying to help her people do?
She has not said. She said, check out my book. What I want to talk about...
She's still alive by then. Y'all think I'm playing, but I think...
she's still alive.
Omarosa might end up turning up some things.
The Congressional Black Caucus and Auntie Maxine, I don't give a shit, Waters are out there talking about they are not going to attend the presidential thing, whatever. You know what, Maxine Waters, who gives a shit? You ain't doing jack shit anyway. So you're not going to be missed. I mean, you might agree or disagree, but notice that when all this stuff is coming out, who did they bring out? John, if Martin Luther King was alive, Donald Trump wouldn't be president. Nico, please.
How was he supposed to be stopping Donald
Trump
from being
president? Exactly.
When
will we learn that these niggas, just because somebody looks like you doesn't mean they're for you?
But, okay, this is my problem with Maxine Waters and your John Lewis's and all these other folks.
Congressional Black Caucus.
Now, how is it that we know that when Martin Luther King was murdered, we know why he was murdered? Yeah. It wasn't because he was, trying to, ultimately he was trying to unify black people, but he said, I feel that I've led my people into a burning house.
Right, into a trap. So now, it's a trap!
Yeah, with leading them to civil rights.
And how do we know, that it wasn't an inside job getting him killed? Because because shortly after Martin Luther King is dead, who fought for the mantle to lead them, and he's one of the most corrupted black men out there, Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have said, too, that they think that maybe he has something to do with it because he wasn't standing right next to him and all this other stuff. And so, but we know that they silenced him. But anybody who was around Martin Luther King at the time, to me...
Abernathy.
all of them, they had to have known why he changed his ideology in regards to civil rights. Because he was saying, I've led my people into a burning house and telling them basically to take it, turn the other cheek. We should overcome. Let's drink and eat and shit with white people. That's the standard of making it.
Right.
But he was like, no, I'm going to Washington and asking for reparations.
Right. And he also noticed that when the Vietnam War really kicked off, predominantly people that were fighting that war were being drafted for that war.
Yeah.
Were black
Absolutely.
and Hispanics. And he said, what the hell's going on?
Remember, now you weren't there, but back then, they also had the amnesty program where you could come out of prison if you were doing a sentence and go fight in the war.
Yes.
I've actually talked to some veterans how they were able to benefit from that.
For a lot of young black men, our parents' generation, Deanna, that would be your grandparents' generation, a lot of the men, especially in our community, that were faced with crimes were given, go to Vietnam or go take your black ass to jail.
Like my father.
And some of them didn't take it, and a lot of them did take it.
Yeah.
A lot of them did take it and said, I'm going to go to Vietnam real quick, and how bad could it be?
Yeah, my father was one of those people you call a conscious objector, where he was like, I'm not going, this ain't my country. Y'all want me to go fight for a country that is not mine.
And my father-in-law is still thinking like that to this very day.
Yes, he is. But he panned out to be right. I mean, Muhammad Ali was the most popular person in our community to do that. It's like, he gave up everything. He was, what Kaepernick is now.
Right.
He gave up everything to make a point in that you guys want me to go fight somebody that I don't have a problem with.
Right.
But when I come back home, I'm going to be treated worse than the people you treating over there.
Right, exactly.
I don't have rights over here.
Right. So, until, if you can't fight here, you have no business fighting over there.
Right. But see, again, not to belabor the point or to go off point, but black people are always getting used, whether it's by the government, whether it's by, politicians who need
by prosperity pastors.
By prosperity pastors. We are always being used, and for those who are like, I'm not going to be used no more, they get punished or they get shunned, or they get some lie or something thrusted upon them, and then who else runs with it? The rest of the silly Negroes.
Exactly.
And to help just crab them on down back into the bucket.
Deanna, you live in a neighborhood where there is a prosperity pastor that has been for over 25 years trying to get a parking lot built. What is your thought on that as a young person? I mean, I remember when he talked about it. That was 30 years ago.
Damn.
So here you are as a young person.
What's my opinion on the parking lot?
Well, on these pastors that keep saying they're going to do it, but yet he can go and have it and be on a TV show and drive classic cars, and yet he's not doing what he's supposed to do. But you have a guy, and I'm not trying to uplift Pastor Don or anything like that, but you got a guy that's actually in the community doing what he's supposed to do, building churches and things like that, actually doing these things. But these black pastors, I was a pimp, and I was sucking on that damn bass pipe.
And before you go, this is where it's going to be to the hard way, is that it's not just black pastors. The black pastors, where did they learn that from?
The white,
Who was the original pimping preacher?
Right.
It was a master on the plantation who put the Bible in the black man's
in the
hand.
community.
The most trusted slave on the plantation.
You're taking half of my point.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. God. I forget. Go ahead.
So what is your point on that? As a young person looking at that.
As a person who doesn't believe in institutionalized
religion.
I think, the best way I've ever heard it was my dad, when I was young, said that churches are businesses. It's a business. He probably makes the money to make it, but especially as a materialistic person, there's probably much better things to buy than a parking lot with that. Right,
but you're in Rubida where you're making all this money. He drives around in classic cars. What is your opinion when you see that?
I don't know. I think, especially if you think about it, the area that it's in and the money he makes, that church could have been moved 4 or 5 times over. But it's just I think it goes to the selling point. We're here, we could be better, so you get your congregation to tithe harder to get where you guys can't be. You never get there, but they're okay because you're giving them the words.
But as a young woman, a young adult that's coming into it, and you're seeing what these pastors are doing, what is your opinion? You're going to have a family one day. What do you do if you're turned off by that already, or you see the anomaly and this isn't how it's supposed to be? Why would you take, like me, I would not take my children to church because I'm seeing what's going on. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. What's your opinion about that?
I wouldn't take them. I'm not going to take them to do something I'm not going to do myself.
Right.
I wouldn't, if that's something they want to do, I'm all for it. Go ahead. You got to learn your own way. I learned through us going to church for 6 years straight. So
I hear a little animosity there.
I went where the car went. But I mean, if they want to learn that way, that's on them. I mean, my little sister right now, she's like finding. I mean, she didn't have that because my dad, obviously, he doesn't believe in going to church either. So she's
something about Marines in church, it doesn't make sense.
She's just now into it and like going to CBU and going to Harvest. Like she's gonna find out her own way whether that's something she wants to do or she's gonna see the faults and stuff in it her own way.
Okay, all right, right on. So big problem with the these Negroes that come out and talk about you only see them when it's in a crisis or it's a publicity stunt. Like, look, I'm making a statement on MSNBC, but we don't hear them from the rest of the thing. And Maxine Waters, real quick. If you look at her district, it is one of the most neglected districts in the state of California, and they keep electing that bitch.
Well, because, again, God rest my mama's soul, R.I.P. She got mad when I would say, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in the book. So now we're not talking about a book, but we're talking about the information. You're like, how is it that a person gets you to continuously how long has she been in office?
She's been in office almost 20 years now. So
20 plus years. How does somebody get you to...
And looking terrible.
Nah, I wasn't going to go there.
Oh, my God.
That's not even where I was going.
Oh, my God. They say black don't crack. That's a damn lie.
But she got to be 90.
She's up there. And she was censored by the Congress for enriching herself and her husband.
Well, I mean, but is she the only one to do it?
No, but the point is, don't put yourself up there.
I agree. But though... How does it that a person for over 20, said to your point, it says her district is the worst. How does a person get you and you live in her district to suspend your disbelief? Like, all right, we keep electing this woman, but nothing's getting done. But we keep electing her. Well, how does she get y'all to do that?
I think it has a lot to do with how we're conditioned.
Yes, conditioning.
Like, we're, as black people, I would say, kind of conditioned to just follow where hope is. Right. So she's just...
There's no other option.
Yeah, every re-election, she's like, look...
Yeah, okay, you have a white guy and her. I'm going to go with the black person. Just like any other country.
She's going to do what's better
Asian,
than they will.
Her. I'll go with the black person. Mexican and her. I'm going to go with the black person.
But see, and that's the thing, and I think you hit on an important part, Deanna, is that we've been holding on to hope since the Middle Passage. We've been sold hope. And listen, I believe in hope like nobody else, but I also believe in, hope in addition to not following, because it's false hope at some point in time.
Sure.
You keep saying, listen, Deanna, when I come home from work, I'm going to bring you a Happy Meal. Obviously, you're a child and you're vegan, so we don't eat meat. But I'm going to bring you a Happy Meal.
Wait a minute. That's not true. Al? Go ahead.
I forgot my child was here. I was going to go there, but I was...
Go.
So I'm going to bring you a Happy Meal home. Okay. I get home. My hands are empty. What do you say?
Where's the Happy Meal?
But all day long, you had what?
Hope that you
had hope. Okay, baby, listen. When I get home tomorrow, I forgot, girl, I was busy. I'm going to bring you a Happy Meal home. Come home. I forgot. How about this spam sandwich? You still had hope, and so after a while, you're going to be like, this ain't going to bring me home no happy.
I ain't worried about it.
Let me go and make me something.
Go and get it myself.
But we don't do that. So this hope keeps dragging us along. It's just like, because hope makes you feel good.
It does.
Like I hope this light bill gets paid. I hope the check is in the mail so I can go pay this rent or whatever. So it makes you feel good. And then you open the mailbox. Call the landlord.
yeah. We need to work out some payment arrangements.
Right. Instead of going to say, okay, if that money comes, great. Right. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do something else, and then it'll just be going together if it do.
Absolutely. So I think that's really good. So that's another thing. And the last thing I want to talk about, and this has to do with black women.
Oh shit!
In the news,
let me drink my Hennessy. I'm just playing
Irish coffee. In the news in Atlanta. I believe it's in the Atlanta area, and I'll put it up for you guys to take a look at it. There was a United States Air Force veteran that our friend, Tay Gonzalez, knows.
Oh, yeah.
She was given a home by Caldwell Bank, and she's a veteran. She didn't retire from the military. She was just a veteran. And, this country talks about, we support our veterans, and they deserve whatever they get. And don't get me wrong, I'm a vet. A lot of blessings have happened to me, and I deserve everything that I deserve as a veteran. Now, this woman supporting my fellow veteran, I believe she deserves everything that she gets.
I don't see the problem.
I don't see the problem. But if you look at the timeline, and you know what I'm talking about, the comments, and I think this is emboldening from the Trumpsters out there. Okay, they talk about they support. If it was a white person, it would have been like, oh, thank you for your service. Way to go. Oh, yes, whatever it is. But to me, here's a black veteran who was given a home, which there's a lot of stuff to apply for that home. I mean, she was like the 500th person. They were giving away 1,000 homes. She was like number 500 in there.
Yeah.
And you got to qualify for it. You got to have good credit or something like that. Here you go. But the nasty comments that was given to the as if like she didn't earn it or
she's overweight. How was she really in the military?
Right, exactly.
I know people who are homeless and they don't have.
Why does she get a home?
And so somebody on that same post, a black woman made the comment saying that it wasn't just white people, it was black people too. Now I did see a few black people.
You know us, we're always going to crab basket each other.
I think that's a given, but overall,
I mean, because like you right now, you're hating on me because my student loans.
I am hating on you. I'm gonna call Uncle Damn Sam myself.
Uncle Sugar, not Sam. Uncle Sugar.
Where my sugar? I'm a veteran of something. Shit, I done been through the trenches or something.
Of relationships.
Yeah, there you go. I should be the what is the highest? The admiral.
General Admiral, yeah.
I'm a general, okay? But, I mean, okay, so we know there's a few of those special black people, as we like to call them, who are, why does she get a house? What does she do? You know? But the majority of those comments were white people. What does she do? She's overweight. She's fat. How does she get the house? It doesn't look like there's nothing wrong with her.
Do you know how many vets that are out there that are overweight after they left the military? Nobody's making you exercise anymore.
But you said your dad is one of them.
Well, yeah, former Marine. I mean, a former.
Let me tell y'all something. When
professional
I got
killer.
with her dad, he looked like Big Daddy Kane. Now he look like Biz Markie. I know he'll never watch this.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta create controversy to get the viewership up. But again, that's a good example. Here's a guy that was a Marine. You can't be no Marine and be no sloppy Bismarck key type. You have to be slim, trim, and ready to go. But once you leave. Nobody's making you do PT. Nobody's making you do this stuff like this. But what does that have to do with it?
The lady's a veteran. She's been qualified as a veteran. Ain't nobody giving no black woman no whole free house just because she rooking the system.
Black person a house.
Right. And so, but again, that is our problem in that we're always seeking validation from white people. Oh gosh, if you would just love us, why can't you guys just understand that we deserve a house too? So what they think? Listen, white people ain't never ever gonna like us. They have not liked us since we came here on the good ship Jesus. They haven't liked us since then. And so here we are almost 500 years later trying to appeal and appease white people. Please stop being mean to us. She deserves a house too. Because it had been me getting my black ass in the house.
Mind your damn business.
Hashtag.
Kiss my ass and I would slam the door in my brand new home.
Not just kiss my black ass.
Kiss my black ass. I don't have to answer to you.
Right.
I mean, what I'm supposed to, you gonna guilt me back and give the house back?
Right.
I mean, all the people who have an issue with there's homeless vets. It's like, if you have an issue so bad, why don't you let them in your house?
They're not
guarantee you pass one every day at a red light.
Thank you.
But all of a sudden they care about home, about veterans.
So bad all of a sudden now.
Right, but they just don't want your black ass to have it. And that's pretty much what I said, because we were tagged in it. They just don't want your black ass to have it.
Right, exactly. And like I said, what happened to thank you for your service or whatever the deal is? I don't care if she served 2 years. She's a veteran. More power to you, sister. I wish it was me, because I would have turned that into a rental. But, you know what I mean? I would have done... Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it ain't like they just gave her a house. I mean, they're not just going to give you a house. The banks don't do that. They're doing that for advertisement.
Explain that is a futile effort, because it's like me explaining to this coffee cup. Look, Charlie Brown, because it's Charlie Brown's cup. The sky is blue, and, all this stuff. Charlie's looking like... Because he can't argue back with me.
Well, let's think about this. That was a program specifically set up for veterans. You can't apply for that program, so you're already out of the ballgame.
But
how's that fair?
But what about the first 499 that got houses before her?
Exactly.
Well, because they did this nice, shiny, feel good piece on this black woman, and now all the haters, and of course they're not gonna say they're racist. Well, we're just asking questions.
Right.
But to her point, y'all probably stepped over one. To go to McDonald's and then step back over that veteran to give him a free meal. I mean, we've done it plenty of times.
Right.
Somebody, I'm hungry, I got you. I'll be right out. But those same people want to make sure she ain't getting
and what I said in the post, too, is I'm sure some people that made negative comments were veterans as well. But I'm a veteran, and you know what? even if I have a lot of redneck friends and people that are, just way to the right, they're just out there. But because they're veterans, I'm going to respect their right because they picked up the gun and walked the post. I'm not saying you have to. But what I'm saying is, even as you, Deanna, you haven't done a damn thing but be the daughter of a veteran, and you reap some of those benefits. Now, yeah, it's hard work. but is that fair? You didn't do nothing for those benefits.
I think it is fair. I spent 25 years of my life with bipolar parents.
Okay.
So
no, you just go ahead and speak. You don't have to put that up.
She wanted to make sure y'all
heard
what she heard. But that's hard work. You know what that does to a child.
Right. But think about all the people that think like that. You didn't do nothing for those benefits. Just because you're the child of a veteran, why should you go to school for free?
You all up in minds. Worry about yourself.
At the end of the day, not all white people, but a lot of white people don't want you to have it because they have this false idea of white supremacy and that everything should just come to me because I'm white. Mm-hmm. And, they talk about how hard they work. Y'all ain't work for shit. Y'all done everything y'all done stole the country. Mm-hmm. Y'all kicking Mexicans out left and right, talking about this is our country. Right. This ain't your goddamn country.
Exactly.
But you got that false idea that it is.
And I'm going to show you how ignorant their leader is. And I say their leader.
And the people who voted for him and continue to stick up for him. Y'all ignorant too, but go ahead.
You're going to try to exclude Nigerians and Africans from coming over here. When you compare their educational rate compared to the educational rate in the United States, Nigerians are one of the most highly educated nations
but if you ignorant,
on the United
how you
States.
Don't know that?
Exactly.
Because we know that they can't even go to school unless they got a uniform and all that over there. And those people do the most to get a uniform.
Right. Going to school in those countries is it's not a right. It's a privilege.
It's a privilege and it's an opportunity that they will not squander for
exactly.
nobody.
And that's why most Nigerians that you meet here in the United States, you ask them, they already have a degree.
Is that why they're able to run a hustle on us? They got an email it from you.
Yep. Everybody, what up?
Oh. I got an email from you. If you give me $200, I will give you $200.
Yes, absolutely. And the greed of our Caucasian brothers and sisters, they're the ones that get taken the most. Well, number one, they're the ones that have the money.
I used to be a personal banker, and they would come in all the time. You did what?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing we can do about that.
That's right.
Did you give it to him? Yes.
Yep.
Oh, they told me it was up.
Yeah, I'm supposed to meet him at the airport, and he's going to give me the black.
Or I'm so the Western Union.
Yeah.
$2,000 and they go Western Union me back.
And that's an old game called fishing.
Exactly.
Because these Nigerians, they're over there, they graduate school, there is not enough jobs for them. So these educated Africans are sitting there at the coffee shops or wherever they're sitting, and that's what they do. They just fish because they have nothing else to do but think about how to get this money.
You know what $2,000 is over there?
Over there.
They just get one person to do that in 2 months.
Exactly.
They can live a life of a king.
Exactly. And that's why they come over here. But so he's going to, now you compare that country to Norway. Mm-hmm. There's no comparison. There's no comparison in the education level. There's no comparison.
Again, when you ignorant. That's not the kind of stuff you're looking for. They're blocked.
Well,
and they're ignorant.
Well, again, it just goes to show the outright racism that they're not hiding.
They're black and they're ignorant. That's they're black and they're stupid and they're ignorant and they stink and they're this and they sit on the system. Not your boy, but Trump thought that all black people, all welfare recipients were black. Right. This is the man that's currently sitting in the White House thought that all welfare recipients were black. Well, I thought it was a joke when I read that. I'm like, nah, come on, somebody playing games.
But what have I always told you, though? When you're born into wealth, you live a different reality than everybody else.
But come on. You got all these people around you, these advisors, you got all this intelligence, and somebody allowing your yellow, orange, Cheeto-looking self to think that all welfare recipients are black? Recently,
the Secretary of Homeland Security was asked what she heard while she was at the meeting with Donald Trump. And what did she do? Well, I don't know if you said
some strong language.
What's the strong language?
I can't recall. But you too, Lindsey Graham, you use some strong language.
Right. But she can remember that. Yeah, she can't remember his.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. This is a person that is in charge of the immigration policy.
And Kamala Harris, your girl, not really a girl, rolled your eyes. She pulled the collar to the carpet and said, how you sending these people back? You ain't never met with none of these people. You don't know their situation. You're identifying these people as potential threats and terrorists and all this stuff, but you've negated to say that the number one people on the list are white extremists, identity extremists, the white supremacists.
Right.
But yeah, you didn't mention them, but you mentioned everybody else.
Everybody else.
How?
How do we let this happen in America?
Those are sick people, Mom.
I mean, we know that, but I'm saying, but these are the type of people, sick. She can get up there in front of everybody and play coy. Well, everybody use strong language. I don't recall Trump saying, but you're just a liar.
So let me ask you this: by looking the other way and protecting the president, or like if you said something that was like very derogatory for me not to say something, wouldn't that be called complicity?
Absolutely.
Because there's a saying in Germany: when they came for the Jews, I looked the other way. When they came for the gypsies, I looked the other way. When they came for this person, I looked the other way. But by the time they came for me, there was nobody to stand up for me.
Nobody else to help me.
Right.
Right. And so, but it's funny, but not funny. Remember that video I showed you yesterday of that old lady? She looked like something on her heels have eyes. She was, I mean, literally. Yeah. But she's like, Trump has done everything for me. And this black dude, she's walking in the middle of the street with a sign or a flag or something.
Nigger!
And it's pretty much. And the black dude was filming it like, guys, look at this shit. She had Trump did all this stuff on her back. And Trump did everything.
It goes to show you how crazy white folks are.
And he's like, you guys, do you see this? This lady is dead serious.
Wait. Remember that meme I put out after the tax cuts passed? Trump's tax cuts, we's gonna be rich. And now in Kentucky and all these places where the white trash is and all these poor white folks are, West Virginia and stuff like that, they're realizing that I don't have any health insurance.
But wait, because I know we run out of time.
No, we got plenty of time. Good.
Look at the banana in the tailpipe that Walmart put in everybody's car.
Absolutely.
They talking about, we giving you a raise, and we giving you a raise, and you're going to get a bonus up to $1,000. Well, we know that was an elevated scale or whatever. But so now they're closing 63 stores.
Sam's Clubs.
We give you a raise.
It's not because they don't have the money. You know what they're doing? They're closing those to open up fulfillment centers to compete with Amazon.
Exactly. They're turning them into fulfillment centers.
So it's like, okay, we got all this money, but Amazon is whooping our ass.
And please explain to me, giving rich people a tax cut, which we've tried before in the Reagan years, and it does not work. It's been proven it does not work because I have a lot of stock. I've been getting nothing but dividends. What they're going to do is that rich people are going to take that money and they're going to either save it, put it in an offshore account, and the corporations are going to put it into dividends for its stockholders. If you want to stimulate the economy, you give it to the average everyday person because guess what? I've got to buy diapers. I've got to pay my rent. I've got to do this. I've got to go to the restaurant, take my girl out, because I got this extra money. That's how you stimulate the economy. But somehow these idiots over there in Kentucky, we's rich! And they now realize they have lost their health insurance. So,
well, they voted for the cat. So, I mean, Trump's doing everything for me.
And we're going to see because, again, like I said on your show, whatever it is, this is not about Russia. I mean, it's about Russia, but it's about Russian money laundering. This is about traitorism and money laundering. This has nothing to do with Trump won the election. There's no doubt about that. The worst candidate the Democrats could ever put up lost, period. Right. Anybody else would have beaten Trump, but the Democrats put up the worst person. And these are the same party, Republican and Democrat. So this case is about money laundering and outright thievery. And you're going to find that out as it starts to... why is Bannon... Didn't he even say, I don't need to lawyer up when he was in the White House? I don't need to lawyer up. Right. I got nothing to hide. He lawyered up yesterday.
Because, they put his ass out the White House.
Well, but the point is, if you got nothing to hide, why do you need a lawyer?
Come on now. It sounded good when you was in the confines of the White House.
All of the people that said they didn't need a lawyer have now gotten lawyers. All of them. So this is deep. So this is To the Hardway, Donovan Sadiq. And DK, you can catch her at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live, and we're going to try to expand it even more and do some other applications. We're working on that. D, you got any special announcements, or what were we talking about?
This Sunday, I don't know what we're talking about. Something always comes up and we end up talking about it. But I like to say thank you to Deanna Moses because I know it's been a long time. You didn't want to come on here.
Yes.
She's like an introvert. She likes to keep to herself. She reads, and she binge watches, and she's very smart.
And fellas, she is single. I'm telling you, she takes after her family roots. This is all woman here now. I'm telling you, this is all woman here.
She says she ain't looking, but thank you for coming on here and having this conversation with us.
Absolutely. And like I said, keep doing what you're doing. You are 25 years old and no kids. Something wrong with you. We're gonna catch you guys again next week. This has been